ગુજરાત પર 2.17 લાખ કરોડનું દેવું નાણાં પંચના અધ્યક્ષે કહ્યું કે બીજા સભ્યો આની પ્રેરણા લે. 15મા નાણાં પંચના અધ્યક્ષ એન.કે. સિંઘે ગુજરાતના વખાણ કર્યા. રાજ્યમાં સ્થાનિક સ્વરાજ્ય વિધાનસભા કે લોકસભાની કોઈ પણ ચૂંટણી હોય પણ ગુજરાતનું જાહેર દેવું હંમેશા ચૂંટણીનો મુદ્દો બન્યો છે. ગુજરાત સરકારે વિધાનસભાના બજેટ સત્રમાં વર્ષ 2017-18માં ગુજરાતનું જાહેર દેવું રૂપિયા 2.17 લાખ કરોડ હોવાનું સ્વીકાર્યું હતું. આ સાથે જ વર્ષ 2018-19ના નાણાકીય વર્ષમાં રૂપિયા 2.38 લાખ કરોડ દેવું થશે તેવું સરકારનું અનુમાન છે. આવી સ્થિતિમાં 15મા નાણાં પંચની ટીમના અધ્યક્ષ એન.કે. સિંઘે ગુજરાતનું દેવું કંટ્રોલમાં છે. ગુજરાતનું નાણાકીય વ્યવસ્થાપન સારું હોવાથી અન્ય રાજ્યોએ પણ તેમાંથી પ્રેરણા લેવી જોઈએ તેવું સ્પષ્ટ મંતવ્ય વ્યક્ત કર્યું હતું. આ બાબતે જણાવતા 15મા નાણાં પંચના અધ્યક્ષ એન.કે. સિંઘે ગુજરાતના નાણાકીય વ્યવસ્થાપનની પ્રશંસા કરી હતી. તેમણે કહ્યું કે મેક્રો ઇકોનોમિક પેરામીટર્સ મેનેજમેન્ટમાં ગુજરાતે દેશમાં લીડ લીધી છે. દેવું જીડીપીના 20% સુધારી ટકાવી રાખવામાં ગુજરાત સફળ બન્યું છે. અન્ય રાજ્યમાં તો આ ટકાવારી 28-29% છે. વર્ષ 2016-17 દરમિયાન ફિસ્કલ ડેફિસિટ ઘટીને જીએસડીપીના 1.42% થઈ છે. અન્ય રાજ્યોએ ગુજરાતમાંથી પ્રેરણા લેવી જોઈએ. સિંઘે રાજ્ય નાણાં પંચની કામગીરીની ટીકા કરતા કહ્યું કે રાજ્ય નાણાં પંચની કામગીરી વ્યાપક જણાતી નથી. એક પ્રશ્નના ઉત્તરમાં સિંઘે કહ્યું હતું કે રાજ્ય નાણાં પંચનો રિપોર્ટ ટૂંક સમયમાં ગુજરાત વિધાનસભામાં રજૂ કરાશે.
Gujarat is the sixth state which the Finance Commission is visiting. We have received a very detailed memorandum from the government of Gujarat. We are grateful that they sent this memorandum to the Commission well in advance, which did enable the members of the Commission to study the contents and contours of this detailed memorandum and for enabling a more purposive interaction with the Honorable Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister and other functionaries of the Gujarat government. The Commission was greatly impressed by the continued growth rate that Gujarat has exhibited. It's well above the national averages in terms of the growth numbers on every parameter of growth in terms of per capita income and other development indicators, the contribution of the manufacturing sector, and in terms of the overall management of its finances. We were impressed by the continued lead that Gujarat is giving to the rest of the country on how to really make progress and how to expand on the opportunities which it has. First and foremost, we were impressed by the management of what I call the macroeconomic parameters. Now, as you know, that under the Fiscal Responsibility Management Act, and that act was amended recently when Parliament enacted the last finance bill based on some recommendations made by a committee on FRBM which I had the privilege to chair, and that this, in terms of the macroeconomic parameters, the preferred debt to GDP for the country as a whole is 60% debt to GDP to be achieved by 23-24, and in this 60%, 40% to be the debt of the central government and 20% the debt of the state. And that to achieve this, it was the preferred operational target was 3% of the fiscal deficit for several successive years to bring down the overall debt to GDP numbers. Gujarat is well above the curve. Gujarat is tantalizingly close to 20% in terms of the overall debt to GDP. Its fiscal deficit is well below 3%. Its capital expenditure has been rising, and therefore Gujarat is in full compliance on the key macro parameters which contribute to healthy long-term economic growth. Second, I think that Gujarat has shown some lead in terms of improving its recently its expenditure on health and education on areas which they believe deserves fuller attention over the coming years. I think that in the overall management of a more balanced development in terms of the primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, Gujarat has shown a lead really to many other parts of the country. On respect of urban local bodies, virtually all the powers which were supposed to have been delegated to urban local bodies in terms of the constitutional requirement has been fulfilled by them. Their accounts are by and large in much better order. Like many other states, in respect of the working of the State Finance Commission, Gujarat is no different than others, where the working of the State Finance Commission needs to become more orderly and in conformity with what the Article 283 of the Constitution provides. Because as you know, that apart from the basic responsibility which this Commission has on the vertical and the horizontal distribution, one of the responsibility which this Commission has is that we are supposed to consider ways of augmenting the consolidated fund of the state based on the recommendations of the State Finance Commission. And therefore, I think that this is not something specific to Gujarat. In general, the Commission is finding out that the working of the State Finance Commission as a critical entity in the fulfillment of this constitutional obligation needs to have an overall improvement. Gujarat has made enormous strides. Continuation of this growth momentum is dependent on some exogenous uncertainties, particularly on the GST as they go forward, and while maintaining the key macroeconomic stability and parameters in a manner which I think would be a good example for many other states to follow.